Hello, this is Katie from Crafting Ruby Dreams, and welcome to my channel where I talk about planners, goal setting, writing, publishing, and getting right with my finances. Today's video is about how I am merging two goal setting systems. The first is the MäksēLife system, very specifically the undated quarterly planner. The MäksēLife system was created by life coach Sierra Friend, and you can find her on Instagram as Planner Friend, as well as the MäksēLife team under mäksē.life. I am using the MäksēLife system as a whole life goal setting system. So basically paying attention to how everything in my life is going, how the various areas of life as defined by MäksēLife, because you will find a lot of very similar concepts with other life coaches, but I'm sticking with the MäksēLife definitions. And I want to make sure that I don't lose track of everything or anything in particular. And so that is what I'm using the MäksēLife system for. The second is the HB90 system. The HB90 system is a goal setting system that was created by YA young adult author Sarah Cannon, and she created Heart Breathings, both the YouTube channel and website and blog, as well as this planner system, which she calls HB90. Now, it is a quarterly planning system, and it is very targeted into managing your work. So I am looking at HB90 as a project management goal setting system. I am really looking forward to integrating these two systems because I've used both of them before. I have used HB90 in the past, and I've been through the boot camp a number of times. First in the very first boot camp class for Q4 of 2018, and then again for Q3 of 2020, where I saw a lot of success. And if you look at past videos on my channel, I went through a lot of stuff with that quarter that you can find. I really enjoyed it. I got a lot in very specific areas of my life done, but things were a bit unbalanced for me for various reasons at that point. Number one, I was just coming to terms with the fact that I was in burnout with my writing, and I was also just feeling off balance from a lot of the stuff that led to me being in burnout with writing and how they affected my life as a whole. I started using the MäksēLife system with the 2021 planner, and I also was part of Club Mäksē, the first Club Mäksē 1.0, the 6-month system, and I will be part of Club Mäksē 2.0 as well. So if you're in there, I'm looking forward to seeing you in there. So the things that I really liked about Club Mäksē was that it allowed me to make sure I didn't drop anything that wasn't droppable, let's say. It really forced me to pay attention and make choices from a whole life viewpoint. Now, Sarah in HB90 greatly encourages that too, but she is not focused on the whole life integration. She's focused on managing your work and your time as a creative. Now, a lot of the people who use HB90 tend to be writers in particular, because that's the area that Sarah's coming from and where her community has been and started. So a lot of the very early adopters were writers. Now, there are other people such as Cindy Guntert-Baldo that you may have seen videos of. She has also started using the HB90 system and is a self-employed entrepreneur, but she's still a creative. So if you're interested in this particular system, but you are not a writer, I highly recommend checking out Cindy's videos on HB90 and how it works and does not work for her. With all of that, I'm going to take you into how I am specifically using the planners and what my system is, and I hope you enjoy. So I'm going to do a quick run through of what I have set up for my MäksēLife Daily. Not much right now at this point, and my HB90 planner. And the thing is, I'm not actually using the daily or even weekly planner from HB90. I am using the 2022 goals planner. So this is setting up my goals for the entire year, quarter by quarter. So it's basically all of the goal setting worksheets for each quarter packaged into one file. So I believe this is $30. So I actually got this as part of being an affiliate and somebody using my affiliate link for the 2022 quarter one bootcamp, which was recently held. So if you are interested in the bootcamp, which I think is a really, really exceptional resource for walking you through all of these pages in a very thoughtful and very well-paced manner, I definitely recommend doing that. So if you're interested, even if you have already used the planners but you've never done the bootcamp and you want to see how much more you can get out of the planner, look for the bootcamp for each quarter. It's usually held about 2 weeks before the start of the new quarter, so usually about the second or so week of the last month of the current quarter. So this would be March for April, May, June, June for July, August, September, September for October, November, December, and December for January, February, and March. I've gotten so much out of being in the boot camp, being a boot camp alumni. I was in the very first boot camp for quarter 4 of 2018, and I've gone through both the previous version, which was only 3 days, as well as the current version, which is 7 days. I get so much out of it, and I feel like I got even more out of it this particular time around, even though I ended up being behind because I just had a lot of stuff going on this past boot camp for quarter 1 of 2022, but I managed to get myself caught up and not too far behind over the course of the week, and finished on day 7 with the rest of the people who were doing the boot camp, both the new class as well as the alumni who were doing it all over again. So like I said, I'm doing the 2022 goals planner. If you saw my planner stack for 2022 quarter 1, that is because I did not have this particular planner yet, the goals planner. I have a copy of the undated planner, so I just printed out the goal worksheets for this particular quarter, and I ended up not working through them because I worked through what's in the goals planner. So I don't have this vision statement done or any of the work in there because I did the pre-work that is usually sent out to the new students, and so I decided to work through that workbook instead of working through all of this. But it's very similar stuff that you work through. It just, I needed, because I was kind of restarting things again, I needed that little deeper dive. So this is, like I said, the goals planner, and there is some info 2023 both for the entire year as well as 2022 overview calendars at the start, and this little new year fresh start. And then you get quarter 1 2022, and it's all, like I said, the goal setting stuff. So you have a quarter 1 checklist, and then time to dream big, and then you have the vision statement stuff, like I said, which was in the workbook that I worked through. And I printed out my vision board to put this in here. And then you get into day 1 of the visioning is day 1 of the boot camp, and then moving through day 2 and everything. So I'm just glad to have this all together, and you can see a lot of the work that I've already done. I'll be filling out more as I get deeper into the quarters. And this was a lot of very thoughtful work, and I am glad I've gone through it because it just feels a little deeper this time. And I will put in, so I did all these project planner sheets, and in a moment I will pop up video of what my Kanban board looks like. I do want to note that my Post-its, however, did start falling off, and they're even falling off here. So these are not the super sticky glue, so I'm just letting these sit here for the time being, because what I am doing with the Post-its, I am taking them off the Kanban board for the weeks that I need to work on them. And so that's where my MäksēLife comes in. So this is the daily, undated, quarterly book, and this is what I did for my name page. I figured I needed to see some affirmations of myself. I do have a post up of this up on my Instagram, and it's just something that really means a lot to me. And I'll be doing some of the goal work in here for the quarter, for the overview, but I'm going to be referring more towards the work that I'm doing for my annual goals and pulling them down from the companion notebook system. And I was just testing a particular notepad that I believe this is from Fern Creek Stickers. Really cute, and actually that's a pretty good sticky. All right, so this is all the goal work in the MäksēLife, and I am waiting on something from Sierra that before digging into goal setting for the MäksēLife system for 2022, and then kind of digging a little deeper as to what I want to do for quarter one. So I'm going to be spending part of my Christmas break working on this stuff. So I will probably do another video with an update as to how I'm doing in this. But if you have the MäksēLife system, I cannot recommend this particular page enough as to things to consider in each area of life when writing goals, is what it says up here at the top. And what I did for my 2021 planner, I went through this page and just highlighted all of the ones that felt pertinent to myself, because there are things like in family and relationships. I do not currently have a significant other. I do not have children, but I do have parents and extended family that I want to be particularly close with and pay attention to. Spiritual and personal growth. I am not religious, but I do have a spiritual side to myself, and I do tend to lean on the personal growth, personal development side of things with this area of life, but it just really gets you kind of closed in on what you are particularly targeting for yourself and what you want to develop. So you may not be religious, but it is something that greatly interests you. So maybe you need to explore various religions as part of your personal journey with this area of life. Anyway, getting off topic. So annual goals, again, this is not what I am using this particular planner for and vision board. And I did set up my January monthly page, and this is a kit from A Novel Plan. Make sure I'm like holding it somewhat square and center. I liked using the date dots. This sticker paper I don't think is removable. At least that was not the feeling that I got from it. So I try to be very, very careful as to how I was placing everything, so I wouldn't have to like try to get it back up. But it's a really nice kit, really cute. I like the colors. So I'm going to be, once I have the annual goals set in and kind of figure out where I want my focus to be for the quarter for each area of life, then I'm going to kind of go in and do these monthly goals. And in fact, that's maybe what I may use these annual goals for, is to create kind of quarter goals. Maybe something similar to what I do for creating mainly what's going to be my work and learning goals with using the HB90 system. I might kind of like work through and figure out what I want my quarterly focus to be from this and place those in these particular pages. Yes, that's what I will be doing. I have 2 weeks to do this. So if you don't have the time to do this, then this may not be for you. And that's fine. It's work with what you've got. And something that Sierra and the MäksēLife team are always saying is that they're trying to meet people where they are. So if doing annual goals and then quarterly goals and then monthly goals and then weekly goals is not where you're at, then don't try to force yourself to be, because that's where I'm currently at this phase of my life. But that's not where I was at like 2 years ago, where I was lucky if I could get through a day. And I just needed daily goals, just kind of focusing on what do I need to get through today. To get to various points in life is very iterative and step by step by step. And it's taking me a lot of steps to get to where I am right now. And so I do not want anyone to feel like they have to be where I'm at, because everybody's journey is very individual, and you have to work with where you are at, where you want to be, because where you want to be is not going to necessarily be where I want to be. Even if it's very similar, you may want to be like standing over here at this like level of life. I may want to be standing over here at this level of life. So just be cognizant of how your personal experiences and your personal dreams influence how you go about achieving what your goals are. So I just really want to emphasize the individual nature of everybody's journey. Monthly layout, monthly spread, and then monthly goals. So I will be working in here to create kind of the monthly goals. And for the work and learning, I will pull, as part of HB90, what Sarah has you do towards the end. Let me pull this up here. Are these milestones, and they're supposed to be like 30, 60, 90, but what she does is just the last day of the month on the dated quarters and everything. So if you have an undated planner from her, you will not have, you'll probably say 30, 60, 90, because I didn't look at this page in particular on my undated. Anyway, so what I did with these milestones is you wrote down each of your goals. I have 2 main goals, and my third I just put in for my recurring tasks and projects. So these are the milestones that I want to be hitting for each of my individual goals. So I'll transfer this information and put it into the work and learning area of life for the quarterly journal. And then what I will do is, so I broke down the individual projects, like I said, and then I put particular dates on. So pull this back over, and here I have this reflections page. I'm not going to be doing my reflections in here. My reflections are going to be done in the annual flagship planner. That's what this is for. So this page is basically going to be used as a holding page for my little sticky notes from the Kanban page. So every day, I've got my weekly actions that I'm going to try and do. Like if they're like something to remind me, I'm going to take these out for a moment whenever I do this weekly page, because I hate writing over bumpy material. It just bugs me. So I will take those out in order to work on this weekly overview page. And then I will just pull each of these. So an example would be the days, my writing days, and it just says week 1, day 1, and I want to do 2 sprints every writing day. So I created little check boxes, and what I will do is I will just go in and take week 1, day 1. I will take the Post-it notes and, paper stuck together, bop. And I will take week 1, day 1, and I will just go ahead and put it down here. So when I'm filling out my days, this is a reminder to myself that this is something that needs to be done. And if I don't have any of these Post-its on a day, then it's going to be a chill day and it's a rest day. And something I do want to point out, here, let me put these so I don't lose them. When you are doing your HB90 planning, these are your days to do with as you will. You figure out what days you want to work. So when I was originally figuring out my writing days, I kind of had forgotten that when I was doing my ideal week schedule, essentially, I did not assign any task blocks for work on Fridays, because I want Fridays to be a rest day. I'm usually very fried from the entire week of the day job, and so when it gets to be Friday, I'm done. I'm usually like, I have very little energy to do much else. I might get on Instagram and like post a couple of things or post a story, but that's relatively low energy. And that's not necessarily a day that I'm expecting myself to do something. If I do it, great. If I don't, that's fine too. And I'll post to Twitter and I'll just hang out on social media, like watch TV and stuff. I want this day to be a rest day. I forgot to note that at first, which is why there's 2 highlighted days up here. But I did these 2 bars in order to block myself out. So I did not actually count these days as writing days in my total count up here. So really make a point to give yourself rest time when you're figuring out your quarter schedule. Don't try to, like, here's even this. I expect myself to do some work on Sundays, namely like YouTube work, but I'm not expecting myself to write on Sundays, which is why Sundays aren't highlighted. But these X's are days that I expect to take off for whatever reason. Like this day, I've got a haircut after work, so I am not going to have time to get over to my stylist, providing that I still have my appointment with stuff. But I'm not going to have time to finish up with work, get over to my stylist, and then get back and do more work. I'm not going to have the energy. So I mark that day as a day I'm not going to be working. This is the day that I have off from the day job, so I might work, I might not. I'm not expecting myself to work. And then I just randomly picked a weekend in February to also give myself a break and not expect myself to work. And then I also gave myself this entire week off. Now, I am going to guess that the next HB90 bootcamp will likely be held March 13th to the 19th, just because that seems to be the sweet spot for when Sarah schedules boot camps. But it could also be the 20th to the 26th. I don't know. But I have given myself this last week of the quarter off from writing, both as buffer time in case I need to catch up, as well as time to try and get my quarterly plans in place for the next quarter. So I am hoping and planning on doing the boot camp along with the boot camp, but if I can't, then it's going to be this last week. And I don't like holding stuff off that long, but if I need to, that's what I need to do. So just being kind to yourself, and that's what I really appreciate about Sarah in HB90 is that she emphasizes that you have to be cognizant of the rest and energy levels that you have at this point in time and not expect more than yourself than what you can provide in order so that you can not beat yourself down and to avoid beating yourself down. Because yeah, it's fine to overestimate because frankly, I do all the damn time. I expect myself to do a lot more than what I had planned to do, but working through this particular exercise and then working through both this exercise where you estimate how much time is required for recurring tasks, and then you dealing with your goals and coming up with your goals, and then coming up with specific projects and estimating how much time you're going to need for the projects and breaking them down into task blocks. That was really hard to say. I really like the way Sarah has refined and updated the system and has made it available to alumni. Every time she has refined and updated the system, she has made it available to alumni, which is why I think the cost of going through the boot camp can be expensive, but it is well worth it in the long run. Because I signed up for the first boot camp, I got a really damn good deal, frankly. And the cost of the boot camp now is more than it was then. But if I were to sign up for the boot camp now, I know I would still find it a good deal because of the continuing access to the resources. Not the individual planners, like if you like the data planner and the yearly annual goals planners, you do have to buy those. but the getting access to the videos, getting access to Sarah, getting access to the alumni group on Facebook if you are on Facebook. Sarah also has a Discord server if you're not a Facebook person. And so it's just so incredibly useful. So going through this project brainstorming, and then this particular exercise where you have to do the time involved, mark down, figure out the time that you've set aside for your goals. So goals 1, goal 2, I'm not doing a goal 3, and my recurring tasks. I estimated what I would, if to do all of that, was 100 time blocks more than what I had assigned and figured out I was willing to do back here. So the number of task blocks in all of this was 335 task blocks. The number of task blocks needed as laid out in my project, goal 1, goal 2 projects, and my recurring projects tasks and stuff was 435. So what I realized was that back here, let me see if I need to, there we go. Come on, page. Back here, actually, not even this page, I left pretty much the entire afternoon free for whatever I wanted to do. And you know what, honestly, frankly, and even the morning. So if I get up early in the morning, this morning, I did a lot of chore work, which I will have a video up soon with that. And then here I'm leaving this time free because I want to be able to do stuff like go out with friends when we can again, go out and have dinner and maybe go to knitting group every once in a while. I miss doing that kind of stuff, but I still have time to get some work in. So I realized for this weekly planning, this is stuff that I do anyway, and I typically do, so I'm okay with this amount of time being outside of what designated/dedicated goal time is on Sundays. I need to figure out how I'm going to handle respecting my boundaries and when is work time and when is non-work time. But I was like, I can still do that. It's just going to be outside of the designated time boundaries. So that's why that particular one is highlighted. And then my Instagram. That is the one that when I need to drop something, I will drop something. I am going to attempt to be producing one YouTube video a week. So just as a heads up for 2022, I figured that between all the work involved, I can commit to one video a week. I'm going to attempt to post to Instagram, whether it is a post, a story, a reel, maybe a live, but probably the first 3 more than anything else, at least 5 times a week. But if I need to drop something, it's going to be Instagram, like any given week. So that's just where my priorities are, because that's goal 2. Goal 1 for me is getting back in the habit of writing again. So that's what's most important to me and what I need to prioritize. So that's where I'm not really cutting anything out except for maybe creating an inspiration cover for this series that I want to be working on. So in fact, that I think, yeah, that is, yes, there's no check mark. That's why it's not counted, but I might still do it because we'll see. Anyway, that's where I'm at. These are the projects that I need to get done in this first quarter. I need to be doing a monthly newsletter for my one alter ego. I need to be doing the quarterly goal setting for the next quarter and making sure I make time for that. I need to be doing my monthly update for my tax spreadsheet and get really back in the habit again, and then do my annual taxes because I try to file those as early as I can. So that's some big projects in addition to the actual goal projects of writing and doing crafting Ruby Dreams. So I hope that gives you all some insight into how I am merging, and I always get this a little tight. Come on. This is really at the max for this size discs of Happy Planner. I think these are like 1-inch discs. I don't think these are 1.5. They might be. But so that's how I'm merging HB90 with the MäksēLife. I will be doing videos throughout the year showing how this is working, what my thoughts are. Whoops, sorry, hair. And just how it's going. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. What would you like to see in future videos? That kind of thing. And I am really looking forward to seeing how all of this goes over the next quarter. And I look forward to hearing comments from you, questions from you, and everything else. So I'm really excited. And I wish you all the best in 22, and may all your dreams be Ruby dreams. Bye-bye.